I'm your host, Ronan Unchained, and we're already mid-season to this show, and it's already packing a punch of forget just the plot and the cool fights, just character stuff that you can just offshoot spin-offs for or whatnot. Uh, I'm your host, Ronan Unchained, and just to make it clear, we're just talking spoilers on the episode, not the books, because I haven't caught up with the books yet. But if you've been watching this show like I have, and you're a fan and excited as I am, um, this is the stream to be and hang out with. So let's get started, folks. We leave off with Oliver has powers now. He committed a crime. Eve and Mark are a couple now. The Guardians of the Globes have been disbanded, and now we're looking into individuals and seeing where they're going. And we start off this episode with such a sweet, endearing, I think, potential couple, my estimations, with Rexplode and Shrink Ray. This was so adorable, and I'm shocked that this is the same dude that I met in season 1, and it was just a dick, just a dick douchebag jock that has some charm into him, but like man oh man. And then you slowly see him throughout season 1, especially season 2, that he may have a heart of gold. He may have a heart of gold, and you get to this season thus far, and you're wanting to see him be mature. You want him to see life and the responsibilities of superhero through a different perspective. And I just thought that was so cool, fresh, and I can't wait to get to this in the books if that's the case that the books tackle. Seeing Ray almost being the one to show him, like, hey, why don't we try not being douchey? Why don't we try at some of the normal stuff that we take for granted that a lot of people get to explore, but we can't because we got to protect everybody and we have these powers with us. And her just trying to find some steady pace after surviving the Lizard League brutal attack and being put back to pieces. And you come to find that the group you've been with, there's turbulence, but you have your niche, and you see some people that may look at the world like you do, or perspectives. And I love that within 3 minutes, 4 minutes, we got this angle between them two. And I think there's some flares blowing. There's some charm into them too, and I feel that if they go down this path, it's gonna be a sweet ride to see. Besides just Mark and Eve that we'll get to eventually, but seeing how they handle their own and how these two at a, I don't want to say smaller pace or slower pace, but just different style, different energy, and yet you're just invested, which is I think the best compliment I can give this episode to the director, is that even when I was away from Invincible and Adam Eve, I was just as invested. And some instances maybe more, maybe less, but man, I was just as invested. See what's happening in that corner of the world that Invincible is a part of. And yeah, man, seeing how Rudy with Monster Girl and how they're trying to handle stuff, how Rudy's trying to find out who is spying on Mark, and they come to realize that it's somebody that made an effort to not be tracked, which leads to Mark giving this look that even Rex comes out and be like, "Oh boy, don't tell me you're gonna do what I think you can do." And Mark, just without hesitation, just goes straight to the source that he thinks, which is Cecil, and saying, "Why the hell are you spying on my family, dude? The fuck?" Then you remember that we had almost duked it out. I had you by the throat and and I threatened to kill you. And I love Cecil and be like, "That's not us. If we were spying on you, you wouldn't know. So why don't you think about that? Because what you did right now is kind of treasonish. It's kind of like breaking the law. You can go to jail for that." And such a dashing move that even you now go look and be like, "Mark, you're proving Cecil's point, man. Please think. I know you're an emotional person. I'm an emotional person, but damn it, man, you have these powers." And again, I think what has been teased in season 2 was that new suit gives a new aura and sets a new tone for Mark's behavior going forward. And and even Sisling, what a shitty way to start my morning with being afraid of getting killed right off the bat. But yeah, which then leads to transition to Mark and Eve's second date, which it's a beautiful spot. It reminds me a little bit of how Nolan and Debbie used to talk about how they used to go on dates when they can, and Nolan would have to like make time to save the world and stuff. And I thought that was just adorable. And then comes these dudes, time travelers, confirmed, if you will, or reiterated, and saying that they need help from Invincible to save their planet. And again, I love that even before we go off on this journey, Mark makes the stance like, no, you two should be in jail. And you're lucky right now I'm trying to make this date work. So leave me be. I don't want to handle your stuff right now. Right now, it's about me and my girl. And I love that Eve says, are you sure about that? You sure you want to do that? And him saying, no, I'm not going to cancel our date. Which I love that it wasn't just, F them. Like, no, we're on a date. It's like there's a balance of like, we're heroes. We have to take stuff into consideration. And I even like how she ended the previous scene in the last episode where she's like, stop. We both knew what we were getting into with this, with us both being extraordinary individuals. And there's a level of groundedness and yet matureness with this dynamic in the second date that I just appreciate with terms of dialogue and whatnot. But they more or less, Chola Maridueña, I believe is the actor's name, kidnap Mark and take him to their future, their alternate reality, where someone is ruling their planet with an iron fist. And I'm telling y'all, folks, go look at it in my reaction, shameless plug, on the channel. Go check out Team JVS's review that we put out, I believe yesterday or today, where the whole time I was just like, oh my gosh, is this Oliver? Is this older Oliver that we're going to have to handle, that he's going to have to handle? And I was just so anxious and worried the whole time. I was just like, oh my God, don't put me, we're halfway through the season. Don't put this to me right now. Come on. But no, it ended up being immortal, which I was shocked because that's another dynamic that is very, very strange and almost, and no, not almost, but it's very distant. The fact that he used to work with Mark's father. His father betrayed the team he was involved with, killed him, if I'm not mistaken, twice. My memory serves right. And then once Mark started establishing himself as his own man, that's saying that I don't fully trust you after what your dad put us through. And saying he would keep an eye on him. And even in the last few episodes saying that like Cecil's always been soft on Mark and his dad. Just like, no. And you see such humanity between this guy who's a broken man, who's lived number of amount of lives, and asking for like, what happened? Why did you leave me in charge of this world? And throwing out these lines of implications and maybe even Easter eggs for future, for stuff down in the books that just was very, very daunting and yet added layers to this world, which I found very, very intriguing. And it was, again, at points, it was very strange to see him talking to an old friend, but almost forgetting, oh yeah, I had friends at one point. I was left here alone for so long. I had so many love interests, so many. I've seen them perish. And it was just heartbreaking to see him being like, why did you do this to me? Why did you leave this much responsibility in me? That like I was out. I was about to retire. I was going to leave this life. But because you asked me to take care of this world, you trusted me with this, that burden steeped in me and just broke him down. And unfortunately, made him a tyrant in this world. And just sad. Again, the tone. Ross Marquand, I believe, is the actor's name. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did an amazing job to showing this side of Immortal that I had never seen outside of his connection to Kate, Duplicate, and just asking Mark, please, like, end this for me. And sad to see Mark's maybe naivety, I don't know, innocence of saying, I don't get what you're asking from me. I don't know. I didn't this to you is another version of me that this to you, but how can I help? But like, I'm not understanding what you're asking from me. And him saying, no, I need you to end this for me. Just enough. Fuck this. I'm done. And Mark again be like, don't make me do this. I'm not killing anybody just for the sake of it or this. And um, you can tell there was some Superman / Man of Steel inspiration behind this episode, I believe. Between the whole Kal-El Zod fight in Man of Steel, and seeing almost at one point threatening Sholomari doing his characters with by the neck, and just seeing how he was just dead, the look of death in his face, like there's it's almost soulless of a body ruling this planet. And telling me who has the guts to let people die and not take responsibility or do action by it, and just forcing Mark to just pull his head off. I'm not going to show it because I think I'm already pushing the limit with the reactions there, but you can see the reaction there, how me and Sam just flip the fuck out. We're like, oh my gosh, here's another one to Mark's list. It's another burden that's going to eat at him and whatnot. And it was, again, strange, beautiful, organic, and yet sad to see these kids or young adults thank him, be like, thank you so much for helping us. And him saying, no, don't thank me for this. This is not worthy of a thank. And showing him almost what him trying to keep his humanity in his world, being like, yes, he did bad, but he also did good, and we can't throw that away. And it's again perspective. Is that enough or is that not enough? Yeah, I just want to highlight the pacing, the timing, the dialogue with the scenes. Just mwah. I first time I had seen it, I was just like, I dug this episode, but I still think the first three are stronger and whatnot. And I actually rewatched it again, and I think I've rewatched it twice now, 3 times now. I need to keep track of that. It's up there with the first three, in my opinion. And you see him get back to Eve, and him asking her, "Am I a good man?" And her, man, we are so lucky to have Gillian Jacobs play Eve Wilkins, I believe that's her name. Telling her, no, you are a good person, and her flipping it of what Mark was trying to comfort her about her older version, admitting, I've always loved you, but now I'm asking you, tell that girl whether you have actual emotions or not, and flipping it like, hey, that wasn't me. I didn't spend my adulthood and late twilight years still pondering over young love. It's like, no, that's not me, and nor is this guy that left immortal by himself to take care of a whole planet. And I just love that she flipped it and be like, no, if that's not going to be me, then it's not going to be you. And her showing that, like, listen, we're going to do this together, one day at a time. And even I love her wedding nights and being like, if you ever pull that shit again, I will kick your ass until you're back in line. Do you hear me? And she also says, I hope you would do the same for me. And again, him being like, you wouldn't do that. You're a good person. She looks at him. They're like, well, look at the line we live in. And he goes, deal. And again, balanced, grounded, yet elevating, just moving, just charming, just romantic. Freaking. Again, there's some probably also some X-Men fans. This is I think of these dynamics between characters and romances. I expect that from X-Men, or I guess the novellas that my mother and my grandmother watch and whatnot. But I have been since day one, Invincible Eve all the way. I've been patiently waiting for 3 fucking seasons for these scenes, for these interactions. And this scene of them having to be like, no, let's ditch this place. And be like, man, I ruined our first day. Like, no, the day's not over. We're just leaving this place. And then flying. And even cutting back to a couple moments, but like almost the first time they met when they were younger in high school, and just floating away. And they said at the corner that they do love each other, and I just thought that was just so beautiful, so beautiful. And again, folks, for those who don't know, they're in college now. They're not teenagers now. They're adults now. I think, if I'm not mistaken. And stuff is gonna happen, and you're never gonna dance again the way I danced with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it happens, and this was it's the Han and Leia moment, right? In Empire where they kiss. It's like finally, fucking a movie and a half. We're waiting for this if they're gonna do it or not. They do it, but we cut away because, and this was shocking to me at the time when first time I saw it. I was like, we're halfway through the episode. We're not at the end. We're halfway through the episode. And we cut to what would be, it is the end credit scene, and it's now back to Alan the alien in the space prison, locked up with Nolan, and they're gonna do the breakout, the buddy cop breakout sequence movie, and seeing Alan cause chaos for the Viltrumites and the people who run this prison was just glorious. Seeing how much he's fighting to get Nolan his humanity back, and seeing how much Nolan is, in some regards, whether people buy it or not, getting his humanity back, finding humility, finding compassion again, outside of what he's been known to with the Viltrumites, which quite frankly are fucking. Even Alan says they're psychopaths. Just to let you know, psychopaths. But seeing Nolan find his humanity back. And again, it's the whole thing of like, we're gonna break out, cause chaos, and Alan can't do this by himself. So what's he gonna need? He calls upon the Battle Beast, which again, folks, for the who don't remember, he put Mark through the ringer and demobilized him at one point. Like he wrecked him, which didn't make me a fan of his for a while. I was just like, fuck that cat, But I've always kept hearing about Battle Beast, Battle Beast, Battle Beast. And I think this one shot says it all of him being like, yes, I want to fight. I want blood. He would be a huge ass UFC fighter if he was in real life and whatnot. And goes with Alan to break out this guy, but more or less of Alan probably like, yo, you get to fight all you want. You get to flex your muscles and even maybe duke it out with a couple of Viltrumites. And so it's Alan and Battle Beast with Nolan against two Viltrumites. And chaos blows. You see Alan covered in blood with his arm. You see Nolan make his way out and try to defend Alan when he sees that Alan's potentially about to die, which Alan, being the suave guy, he lets himself get beat up to get Nolan over the line. But like, you do care, and he cares. And I'm only going to show this one shot just to play it safe and cool. But this is one of the coolest like Mortal Kombat combos I've ever seen, and in space, mind you, between a Viltrumite and Alan the alien. Just boom, gone. And you see that body floating in space and hanging out, like, all right, we did it. We got out. And now it's like, it's the, now what? Now what are we going to do? And they look like they're going to hitch a spaceship out of the sector. I think Nolan says that the Viltrumite Empire won't come after them. And I think even at one point, the two Viltrumites that went to go kill off Nolan say that, let's go look at your ancestry, look at your pattern, your DNA, see if there's a misstep. Why the hell did you break protocol? You disgrace us and whatnot. And I love this beautiful moment of like the guy holding Nolan all beat up and whatnot. Like, was it worth betraying your own kind for whatever you did? He's like, yes. And I was like, oh, boom, boom, humanity. I hope it's fucking real. If I'm gonna be pissed off, Nolan, Omin-Man, damn it. But I thought it was so cool, and him saying, and I pity, or I'm sad that you'll never get to experience that because you're in your ways. I got lucky. I didn't, betray my kind. I got lucky, and I got to experience stuff outside of my culture, my kind. And there might be better stuff out there than just us being barbaric society, if you will. I don't know what's the word where they kill off each other, fucking barbaric. But yeah, Nolan, Alan, yeah, we did it. And we cut back to, Mark and Eve. They did their thing, and must have been a hell of a time. A very cute, like, John Hughes moment of like Debbie being like, what's that sound? Why is your door locked? And I just thought that was just charming as hell. And yeah, him saying we're in our own place, and we're gonna keep doing this, which is cool and suave. So kudos, Mark. Kudos, Mark. Kudos, Eve. And I think I'm sorry if I've said this so many times, y'all, but I think the strength of their relationship is that they were friends first. They respected each other as superheroes and individuals, and they had sparks flew. They had a charm, and they in an organic way they liked each other, and I think that's what could be their backbone for them. I hope in the coming time. Again, folks, I don't think I could hold it off anymore because this is right here near me. So who knows? I might just start reading on afterwards. I don't know. I have to time it right. I think I don't know. It can't be like season one, where season one I just went in dark and that was awesome, but afterwards I got a taste of the good stuff, and I can't wait that long. Can't. Um, but yeah, that is episode 4. I'm very curious if people had a favorite moment or not. Did they like stuff more than others? Is there a favorite couple, if you will, in the world of Invincible? Who knows? I think for Rex, I think to go back with the Shrink Ray and Rex, I think this is another thing that's going to be very organic if it keeps going forward and seeing how much can they do this. And will stuff start to shift or not? Maybe they be like, no, we're superheroes first, and then we'll handle that. But yeah, her just, I love the whole, I just want to cook. We don't have to order stuff. Because we're superhero, we're popular. No, I just want to cook or ordinary stuff. If you want to help, great. If not, go mind your own business. Go do something else. And I love that Ray had her stands there. And again, Rex took, wow, maybe she has a point. I also be like, man, I like a woman like that. And again, it's a different perspective than when he was dating Eve and then had his fling moment with Kate. So yeah, I'm very curious to see where Ray and Rex end up at in the next few episodes. Hopefully good, hopefully positive. I just need to sit down between Cecil and Mark just to lay it out down to the earth, because I do think that in his heart, I think Cecil does care for the Graysons. Everybody, Mark, Debbie, and even Oliver. But perspective, circumstances goes a long way of shaping somebody. So hopefully there's room for progress there. And even for Mark as well. I've been like, okay, my dynamic with Cecil can't be the same as it was with my father, and I'm trying not to be his way, not knowing what he's been going through. And again, what a cool thing for Alan to be like, I'm friends with your son, and now I'm friends with the father. And I'm pretty sure the son is all the way with us, and now I'm trying to persuade the father out of his ways and maybe help the Empire and whatnot, but also being cool with him, be like, hey, you don't want to help? That's fine, but I know there's good in you. I know there is. I know there's no, you're not full on Viltrumite anymore. Like, there's something in you that grew. Will we see more of Battle Beast? I know there's a new comic book, I think, coming out by Ryan Ottley and Kirkman, if I'm not mistaken, in the next few months. I gotta double check that because I want to get my hand on that first issue. But yeah, it's good stuff, y'all. Good stuff. And I've been saying it. If this remains a steady and strong, narrow way going, this might be the best season thus far. But yeah, folks, tell me, what was your favorite moment out of this episode? Was it the Alan and Nolan stuff? Was it the Mark and Immortal? Mark and Eve? What did you guys take away that was a favorite of this element? Why not? Without spoiling stuff, either now or later on when you see this video, hard comic book fans, beyond what I've read, are you happy with what they're adapting, what they're putting out in this show, or how are we feeling about it? Because by the time season 2 came out, I had already read, I think, the first compendium, if I'm not mistaken. So I was already psyched with what was to come and see what was going to be upgraded or changed. And I dug season 2. Yes, the part 1, part 2 thing. The Adam Eve special, which is phenomenal. I highly recommend people to go see that. If you haven't yet, that is an experience, I think, in my opinion. How are we feeling? Because thus far, of what I've read, I've loved what they've adapted. And in some regards, I think they might have enhanced stuff and had time to switch stuff around, see how it plays out differently than in the books. I like that, where there's one thing that exists, that's what you grew up watching, and then something that is a different take yet similar in many regards. And from what I've been hearing of people who have read ahead, that it's been very faithful for a lot of stuff. Sure, there's changes here and there, but it's been very, very faithful. So I know. So tell me, y'all. Tell me, what did y'all think of this episode? If I missed something I'm covering, I apologize in advance, but I think I did what I did. I did the reaction, a little bit of a review on the channel already. It's out. And then Team GVS, we did a review that we did 20, 30 minutes with Busy Braun and Sam. I think I've said everything about this episode. I think. If I missed something, let me know. I know that, again, the Immortal hinted at stuff with future Mark, which I think might come down the pipeline. If that's the case, I'm very interested to see where that plays out. There was this talk of him being sick again, getting the family out. We'll see. We shall see. Folks, I'm going to wrap it up for the stream. It was a short stream this time just because, again, I had it pre-recorded something already. But it's out there. If you want to hear Ronan Unchained's thoughts on episode 4 of Invincible season 3, it is out there on like 2 different channels. But yeah, hopefully next week we can have another guest talking about Invincible, and hopefully this expands on and has people who I've never met maybe before and who are also Invincible fans, and maybe have them on and hear their perspectives on the show and the season thus far. I am open to stuff as long as it fits with timing and what I want to do with the streams. And hopefully you've been digging the streams. If you bother stopping in, checking this out, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. If you dug it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm almost at 1,000 subs. I want to reach that goal ASAP, because once that goal is achieved, there's another goal, and I want to just keep on expanding this channel, y'all. There's a lot of crazy ideas I have in mind with this channel, and just when stuff grows and grows, my crazy ideas can come into fruition. What else can I offer? Yeah, I think everything should be steady onwards. Every week you'll be seeing the reactions, reviews, live streams. And then beyond Invincible, we'll do Daredevil coverage in March, Last of Us, Andor, traveling coming down the pipeline. And who knows, maybe after season 3, I might do a review of the compendium, of the 2 compendiums if I finish them. But definitely I'll probably do a video for the first compendium of Invincible, which I think is the first 100 issues. If I'm mistaken, it literally ends where season 2 ended, with the last shot. So you'll hear my thoughts on the books. But yeah, that'll be all, folks. Thank you so much for taking the time. Take care. Hashtag Invincible and Adam Eve. I love that power couple. Probably one of the best power couple of all time. Up there with Rogue and Gambit and Vision and Scarlet Witch. And Han, Solo, and Leia. I don't know what else I can think of right now. But yeah. Until then, take care and buenas noches. Bye.